a little different here than some people or some churches, but we just try to follow the Spirit of God, and what He tells us to do, we do, and we even allow the crickets in the church house. And so it's I'm sure that when Jesus was born, if the cattle of the field and those that were around was even acted different, Brother Paul, they said, if they acted different, I'm sure that the crickets or whatever out knew something was different too. And God created everything, the Bible says. He created, and He even created both good and He does both evil.
He did.
And somebody said, why would such a great God create something evil? The Bible says that He created both good and evil.
Yeah.
Now, I didn't get up here to preach, but I want to say this, Brother Paul Yance, He created good first, but by a man's choice,
that's right,
and by a man's desire and jealousy and desire to be something that would only cause him a world of hurt, came evil. Do you have it, Brother Paul?
Yep, that's it.
Satan, the devil, the booger man, whatever you want to call him. I've heard him called all things and never heard him called anything good, but believe it or not, at one time he was good. He was right in heaven, Brother Robin. And one of the greatest angels, an angel of the light, that you could have ever found. But he got jealous of something.
That's right.
You see, friend? Somebody said, well, I wonder when jealousy started. There's some will claim that it started when Cain and Abel. That wasn't when it started. It started long before then.
Absolutely.
If you'll have it today, he looked at God, and somebody said, heaven's a perfect place. We believe that. We believe eternal heaven's a perfect place.
That's right.
So what happened in heaven then? What heaven did it happen in? Paul said, I knew a man about 14 years ago, whether in the body or whether out. He said, I know not. And I was caught up into the third heaven.
Yeah.
Is that all right?
Yeah.
He was caught up in third heaven. Now, if I remember right, along about the 4th or 5th grade, I was taught 1s, 2s, 3s, and 4s, and 5s. And if you got 1, it meant that was all you had.
Come on now.
You had something else of what you already had.
That's right.
If you had 3, you had something else of what you already had, right? So there was a third heaven. And that third heaven, Paul said, I was caught up in. Now, friend, when Satan came to the point that he got jealous, that he hated, that he desired. Now, it's all right to covet and to want good things, but you have to be willing to want it through and by the Spirit of God. And if you do it that way, you'll get it and you'll be happy. But if you seek to destroy to get it, then that will be your reward. And I'll tell you, friend, you can smile on your face, you can talk a good talk, but in your heart you won't be happy.
That's right.
That's right.
Because if it don't come from God, it's no good anyhow.
That's right.
Satan desired that, Brother Paul. And by him desiring that, did he one time find where he prayed for it? Did you find one time where he said, oh God, did you ever hear where he said like Solomon?
Come on now.
I never did, brother. He never did say, God, I desire to go in amongst your people. But I'm going to tell you what happened, friend. He tried God. He tried God. God told Job, he said, Job, I'll tell you what. He said like this, he told Satan, he said, have you considered my servant Job?
Yeah, I have.
And listen to me, friend. And you know what? Today, the devil, listen, he considered him all right, didn't he?
Yeah.
He considered him all right, but he never could touch his life.
That's right.
He never could touch his life. He took everything just about that he could from him. But listen what happened today. Listen, when he got to the point that he thought he could just touch him, let me tell you what happened. Let me tell you what happened. The devil had to flee from him. Why? Because Job got down on his knees and said, Lord, you give. Lord, you take.
Blessed
and blessed be your name. And let me tell you what happened, friend. All the worries and all the heartaches that Job had just went right through. They went away today. Yes, and you can look back down the road and see where you left the road. You can see all the burdens that you had to bear.
Yeah.
And I'll declare to you, friend, that no matter how rough they were, no matter how heavy they were, that you'll look back and you'll be able to clap your hands and say, thank you, Lord, for your blessings on me. Would you have that today?
Yes, sir.
Amen.
Yes,
So,
sir.
Thank you, Lord.
we see where that he got to a point, and I'm not going to preach, I promise you.
Come on.
I just want to say this. He said like this. He said like this. He said like this. He said he looked at God and he wanted, what did he want to do? He wanted to overtake heaven.
Yes, he did.
He wanted to rule heaven. Friend, let me tell you something today. You get God in your life, you won't need to rule heaven because you'll be an equal part of it.
That's right.
You'll be an heir and you'll be a joint heir
Absolutely.
to heaven today. But you see, he wanted something more, didn't he? Listen, friend, I'm going to tell you what. You listen, I'm glad today you may become, listen, a day in your life to where you think, I want the church. Listen, friend, you have to become willing to say, I want to be a part of the church.
Yes, sir.
Listen today, friend, it's not mine, it's not yours, but it's God's today.
Come on now,
If
feed me,
my
brother.
kingdom was of this world, my children would fight. He even knew we would fight, didn't he, Brother Robin? Listen today, but he said, my kingdom's not of the world,
Nobody.
but it's within the hearts
Of his people.
of his children.
Amen.
That's the perfect man, Brother Fred. It's not this outward man that's perfect today. And in this flesh, he said, dwells no good thing. Listen today, just for 5 minutes, he said, in my flesh,
Praise the Lord.
dwells good.
Yeah.
Oh, friend, but yet I shall see God. Listen, and when I sing for myself, not another. Somebody said, oh, well, what happened to Satan? I'm going to tell you what happened to Satan. Listen, he was cast down with a chaff. Listen, to the earth to crawl on his belly like this thing. And somebody said, who killed him? Who killed him? No one has. Listen, he's still crawling. I'm going to tell you what today, Brother Colin.
Yes, sir.
So good Lord.
Glory.
Bless my brother.
Listen, I'd rather get started
Oh, God. Come on.
this than I would anything
Come on.
I've ever known.
Come on.
Oh, friend, listen today. I'm glad that when He crawls amongst us, if we can say, oh God, just like Job did, Sister Carol, you give God, you take the blessed be your holy name. And when we can do that, He has to flee. He has to get away today. When we do that, why? Because there's no power like my God. There's no grace like my God's grace. As somebody said, well, I went before a judge, and you may go before a natural judge here, and you'll say, give me mercy. Listen, and he may not. I know one today that is a judge, and he's the ultimate judge. And oh, friend, if you go to him, faith believing, he'll give you mercy. He'll give you grace, truth, and honor.
Yes, sir.
Glory be to His name. Are you happy to be alive?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Are you happy? Somebody said, well, I've got cancer. How could I be happy, preacher? I'll tell
Well, if
you,
you got Jesus, you're still alive.
nature-wise, it's hard. Nature-wise, it's hard, no doubt. I've never had it. Somebody says, well, I've got troubles. We all do.
We sure do.
I've got heartaches. We all do.
You got problems?
Oh, but when I can get my eyes centered on heaven,
That's it.
I know one of these days I'm going to leave this world. And I won't have that no more, Brother Henry. Woo! Don't it feel good to be a part of the family of God?
It sure does.
I'd rather be an old-time Christian
Anything
than anything I know.
Amen.
Sister Diane, we could probably be about whatever we want to be this day and time, and people just don't care. It's not like it used to be. Not being an old-time Christian is the most popular thing.
No.
We don't have multiple houses in Lexington to feed preaching to and singing to. We don't ask you to fill out no card when you come through the door to find out how much money you make. We don't do any of those things. But I can tell you one thing that we want to do more than anything. We want to enjoy heaven with you.
Yes, sir.
We want to
Yeah, man.
enjoy God with you.
Share Jesus with
And if you're here today and you came burdened, you don't have to go back through that door like that today.
No, sir.
No.
That's why I listened to that song twice this morning
He's here.
that they sung at Brother Collins' funeral, Brother Collins' dad's funeral. And it was I know the brother he asked to sing it probably wondered, well, this is a funeral.
He did.
But Brother Collins had that mind.
That's crazy.
And he did look at you like he's crazy.
He sure did.
I probably would have too.
It's all right.
But see, that's the way nature is today.
It's all right.
But he began to sing that song. That's what this altar's for.
That's right. Dad already
You don't have to carry your burdens
His kids
anymore.
Jesus.
Brother Paul, as they began to sing that part this morning, tears began to swell in my eyes. Because I thought, Lord,
Yeah.
somebody said, well, I got to get to church and get to the altar. Listen today, brother. Your altar can be in your backyard. Your altar can be right out in your car. Listen today, I'm glad that there was an altar one time in my life. Sister Carol that I got down at, and I didn't have to carry my burdens no more. Somebody said, you mean you never had any after God saved you? Oh, yes, I did, Brother Paul. I had more after God saved me than I ever did before He saved me. But I didn't have to carry Him no more. That's the best thing about it, friend. You don't have to carry Him no more if you don't want to. God will take Him and He'll bear Him for you. Because His yoke is easy.
His burdens is light.
His burdens is light.
Yeah.
I used to think when the old brethren would say that, when they'd say His yoke's easy and His burden's light, I'd think of the egg yolk that they'd crack open.
gotta get yolk
I think,
quick.
well, that ain't heavy. But listen today, and God shine the light into me. I learned what yoke that yoke was. You ever seen them take oxen and put them together? And they put them all together by yoke. Listen today, they carry whatever is behind them. Brother Paul, I'm glad today that He's my yoke. That He, carries our burdens. His burden is light. His yoke, is easy and His burdens are light. His burdens has never been heavy, Brother Paul. Somebody said, well, why would He burden you? What's He burden you with? He burdens you to be obedient to Him.
Yes, sir.
And it'll cause good things to come out.
Yeah.
I have felt so good here, brethren. I'll tell you, and I'm not bragging. I give all glory and honor to God. I don't know why I didn't. You could have never told me that I had this stuff on my mind about Satan. Maybe it's good for somebody.
It was.
But I'm telling you, friends, Satan was at the highest point that anybody could be at one time in life, and he's not ugly. He's not ugly.
No, sir.
He's ugly to us, and you'll find out how ugly he really is. But to the one that's easy to be tempted, to the one that's easy, that's trying to look at the road and take the right road, he'll stand just as pretty as anybody else. And he'll tell you, come here. He'll tell you, go there. Listen, friend, but you listen to that voice. I guarantee you that if you just listen real close, you'll hear a voice like you've never heard. You'll feel a wind like you've never felt blow by you. And when you follow that voice, He'll lead you to fountains of living waters.
Yeah.
Is that all right?
That's all right.
I just ask you to try it. That's all. I can't make
That's
you.
all He done too.
Taste of it and see that it's good.
And I hope you'll pray. I'll try to sing this song. I used to hear this song growing up a lot. There used to be an old brother come out of Virginia, sung it. And I want to say today that at any time during this meeting, if God bids you to pray, you don't have to wait till you go home. No. You don't have to even get up and come down here. If you want to, that's fine. We'll pray with you.
Yeah.
But if you want to get right in your seat and pray, if you bow your head and pray, wherever you're at, if God bids you to do that, do it.
That's right.
And if He saves your soul, or if He saved your soul, friend, you won't disturb any brethren or sisters or friends around you. You get up and you come on home. I love that, Brother Paul. Somebody said, well, I don't want to disturb meeting.
You ain't going
Brother
to.
Fred,
No disturb.
if that's disturbing meeting, I want them to disturb it.
I'll let
I want them to
It'll be
disturb
messed up anyway.
But it's like that country music song. If loving you's right, I don't want to be wrong. That's the way you have to come, Brother Paul. You have to be willing to say, listen, hell or high water, Lord, I'm coming to you.
Break my legs
Brother
if you don't
Collins
want me.
always said, break my legs if you don't want me, Lord, but I'm coming home.
Yes, sir.
And I used to listen today, and that means a lot of effort, didn't it? You ain't no better than Job, friend. And he had all that laid on him. I'll tell you, I'd rather have breathing legs and everything. That man,
Yeah.
Listen, he'll heal back. But that man lost his family. He lost everything. That's what the old Satan will do for you. And listen, and you'll keep on going. I saw a show yesterday where a man, his parents give him $750,000. He put it in investments. Listen, when the stock market crashed, Brother Fred, listen, he lost everything that he had. He wasn't the only one. But yet, he listened. He must have listened to Satan a little too much. He knew Mom and Dad had plenty more money. Listen today, Brother Colin. You know what the man done? Listen, he turned around and he went back to his Mom and Dad's house. Now, he was doing okay doing that, Brother Paul. Listen, but it's what he done when he got to the house. Friend, when God's been you to go, that is something good. You keep on going. Listen, but make sure that you continue by His Spirit, His voice when you get to the house. But when he got to their house, he didn't listen to the good voice in his mind, but he listened to the bad. He took a check and he thought, I'll take this and I'll double it and I'll get Dad and Mom's money back. And he wrote it for 50 more thousand. Listen, and he signed his dad's name to it. Brother Fred, listen, but when he went out, he thought, if I don't, or if they find this, what will happen? And he went back in and he plunged them both to death. Listen, and killed them. Listen, Brother Colin, you see, friend, you may go too far in life. Don't go as far as to where you can't return. Because there's some things that's just not irreversible.
That's powerful.
Oh, yeah.
And he killed them both. And now he lives with wondering why. I know in nature things can run people crazy. They can do things to your mind. But friend, listen today. While the voice of the Lord's talking to you, get it. Get it. Somebody said, well, do you think that man may have went crazy for a little while? Let me tell you something. I'll tell you, he may have went crazy to some people, but he continued to deny that he killed his parents. And listen, the evidence was so strong against him. The evidence was stronger than most shows I've ever seen against him, even down to the DNA. And his sister left visiting her parents' grave. It's all she had left was her parents and her brother. And now he's in prison. And you see, friend, today I want to say like this. What comparison are you using, Jason? I'm using this. You may have sinned a big field.
Yeah.
But don't fool yourself and keep on denying it. You have to be willing to say, God, I've done just as wrong as any man out there.